wanted to thank you for this opportunity to share some of my interesting theories with you, my astrological theories. This is what I do. I am an astrologer and I work with clients. And basically, what astrology is the ability to know what was actually happening up in the sky, planetarily, the moment we were born. Astronomy has captured that beautiful science. And we know second by second how the planets are changing. And we know that the planets in the sky make a beautiful arrangement. But what a lot of people don't know is the planets put off different types of energy. And sometimes the way they're lined up, it can be conflicting energy. And sometimes it can be very harmonious energy. And we down here on Earth don't realize how much we're feeling these vibrations. And sometimes they agitate us, sometimes they bring up old memories, because it's this constant energy that's working behind the scenes to help us grow in life. And the beautiful thing about astrology is it's just a tool. Personally, for me, I don't believe it has anything to do with faith or religion other than understanding that there is a scientific lineup. The faith comes in believing if it actually influences us or not. But if we do believe that it influences us, then all it does is bring us some awareness of some of the things that we feel inside. And then faith and belief and all of those things, that's what people use to help work through it. So they're really two separate things. I just want to make that point because I questioned that myself when I first started studying astrology. So I appreciate you letting me share some of my thoughts with you. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be talking, I try to keep this really simple, and yet it's a very complicated subject. But I'm going to be looking at your son's chart, and he was born on January 30th, 2004, and he has a very amazing astrological chart. In fact, when I did a little of my research on some of the famous people in history, such as Michelangelo, I found out that your son actually shares many of the same planetary lineups as some of the very brilliant people in history. And so it's even been talked about that people with autism and people with epilepsy, that it's possible that they're just completely, amazingly creative and smart people. And I might actually think there's something to that, because what I did was I went on the internet under some of the reputable sources through epilepsy, and I found as many famous people as I could that have claimed to have epilepsy. And it was amazing to me. The artists, the philosophers, the people who didn't think like everybody else. And when I looked up those charts this morning, I was able to see very similar and common threads, and it continues to prove my theory. So I'll explain that to you. So this video, I just want to share with you guys, is a private video I'm making for you, and I'm custom designing it for your life, for your family, for your son. And this is what I do for people. But I'm going out a little bit on a limb here and actually talking about something I believe that I might be able to make some sense of. And I know that sounds like, who would I be? But I feel very dear and a very strong compassion for people who struggle with epilepsy, because my best friend's daughter, I watched their family struggle with this for 25 years that I've been in their lives. And she recently is the one that got the service dog. So you've seen some of my videos on that. And I just started seeing things through astrology that I had never seen before. So I'm going to share a little bit with you. So what it is that I'm looking at right now is the planetary lineup that was happening the moment your son was born, Nicholas was born. A lot of things going on in what we call the astrological weather. So in that case, he embodied those energies. They're a part of him. It's kind of like when you're born, somebody handing you a drink and saying, here's your cocktail. Now you've got to work with this drink for the rest of your life. This is your energy. This is how you work. And everybody has a different mix. I don't know if that's a good example, but that's an example. Or a very specific fingerprint in the sky. The beautiful thing is, although no chart can be alike, We can share similar threads, and that's what bonds us together. That's what we're attracted to. I do a lot of relationship compatibility charts, and I can see when people are, what they're attracted to, what they're connected to, and what areas are going to be difficult for them based on these energies. Because basically, we've all been given a certain amount of, basically, it's how we all look at life. We look at life differently. And so much of the time, we get frustrated spending so much time wishing people would think like us. But using this beautiful ancient science and this tool of astrology, we can, it's like an x-ray. I can look inside and I can see what energies that your sun deals with. And there's even some solutions to possibly help managing them. And that's where you guys are going to come in. There's absolutely no strings attached. Something for you to take in and see if it resonates with you in any way. But if anything that I say does come true, or you do apply some of the things I'm going to share with you that might be helpful, I'm just asking you let me know, because I'm just putting together research, and really I need people. Although I have the theory, I need people to test it. There's certain things I just can't test, and if these ideas are helpful to you, you can pick and choose. You can take little pieces of it. There's no rules to it. I'm just giving you a new perspective, a different perspective, because I know you guys are very well versed in every possible perspective that could have helped your son. And again, I'm just here to offer suggestions that might help manage what's going on. And first of all, I want to say he was born January 30th, 2004. He is an Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus, and they are the #1 highest vibration of energy. Aquariuses are the networkers, but they live on a different airwave. Aquariuses are very sensitive to noise. They can hear the humming of the refrigerator when we can't. They're very, a lot of times you see inventors and scientists, they're always trying to figure things out. How does that work? You see a lot of them that have made incredible discoveries because they have a scientific mind, and they like to know how everything works before they believe in it. And so because of that scientific mind, again, they're in a very high vibration. So if your sun is in a place that has a lot of, noise and high energy or really erratic music, that could throw his whole entire balance off. That's something as parents that you can take a look at and help him learn to say, this is too much for me. I need to step out of this for a minute and calm my vibration back down. He also, when I look into astrology, we look at where the moon was at when your son was born. And the moon was in a very, very, very powerful place. The moon, he was actually born on the cusp, which is between a change, which means he embodies both energies. Not full one way, not full the other, but the energies he's embodied are very intense. When he was born, the moon was in between Cancer and Gemini. Okay, so I'm using zodiac terms we can all understand. But as an astrologer, we use zodiac terms just to help other people understand. But when I think of Cancer, the sign of Cancer, or the sign of Gemini, I think of the energies that they send out. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so your son is very, very, very intuitive, and he's very, very connected to his environment. He feels everything. He feels emotionally and spiritually, and he picks up on things that nobody else is picking up on. And he's very, very, very in touch with this. So imagine mentally being at a very high vibration all the time when you are picking up on subtleties in the environment that nobody else is. And now imagine picking up intuitively, emotionally on everything as well. But because he's on the cusp, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is again the second highest vibration underneath Aquarius. Very fast-moving planets, and your mind starts going almost obsessively, can get obsessive over something, thinking about things, because your mind really goes 100 miles an hour. And Jay, when I took a peek at your chart, you also share in that Gemini influence, and you've got a strong place of that, so you may experience that as well. Geminis love to know a little bit about everything. They're the salesmen, the communicators, excellent writers, teachers, historians. They know a little bit about everything, jack of all trades. But they have a short fuse in between everything's great to I'm really upset. They don't have, like some people, when they get upset, it takes them a long time to get upset. Not when you have this Gemini influence, this Mercury influence. It's quick change. And sometimes that's hard because all of a sudden you're like, I was feeling fine and now I'm completely upset. What happened? Well, it's just that's how quickly your mind works, and it's hard to go to the next stage. But your son also has that, and so should be a good communicator. Although there's times he's going to want to be very quiet. You guys may have noticed that he at times wants to get off by himself. Maybe he's looking up in the clouds. Maybe he's daydreaming, and you're like, come back to us, and you think that he's not there. Well, one of the planetary influence that he has in his chart is Pisces. Pisces, oh my gosh, it's the 12th sign of the zodiac. It's the most spiritual side of the zodiac. So he's very connected spiritually to what he believes, and he has a very strong knowing. He's very connected to the ocean, to the water, things of the water. Loves to be near the water. He might even have a real strong fascination with type of animals. Would be horses. They would be very good for him to get around, as horses, elephants, whales, that kind of animal. Pisces are very connected to, because they're very spiritual inside, and those are very spiritual animals, and they know that. He's also, when I use the word intuitive, I don't want to use the word psychic because everybody's afraid of, we think of 1-800-PSYCHIC, and I'm not talking about that, but I am telling you, when I say the word psychic or intuitive, that your son knows things before they're going to happen. Remember, I talked about those very, very special dogs that have that ability to read seizures? Well, they have 2 planetary alignments that give them that gift, and that's Moon in Cancer and a Pisces placement. Your son has Moon on the cusp of Cancer, and he has a strong Pisces placement. He also has that ability. Unfortunately, what happens, because mentally in his mind is going so fast, but intuitively he's picking up on all of the emotions. When you have this Pisces placement, one thing that's very difficult about it is they feel everything. And so, if you guys are driving down the street and there's a puppy on the side of the road, and you might think, I don't have time to get that puppy, let's just call the animal control and they can get it. Your son is going to be crying for the puppy. We've got to stop. He's going to feel the puppy. And if you pass up that puppy, he's not going to forget about that puppy for days. It's within him. He felt it. And that sometimes is why a Pisces needs, many times, even throughout the day, to get away from all noise, get away from all vibrations, get away from everything, and be alone. Even if it's for 10-15 minutes, where they're looking in the trees and looking like they're spaced out. They're calming themselves back down, and they're cleansing the negative energy or the heavy energy that's just come upon them. As a child, I actually share this, so I'm speaking from experience when I talk about this Pisces placement. I have 2 of these, and I'm very intuitive as well. And as a child, I picked up on everything. I was very emotional. I cried at King Kong, when the movie King Kong. And your son is very connected to those things. Also has Mars in Aries. Now, this is the warrior. This is very athletic, very powerful. Jay, you also have a very strong thread of this. This sun is actually, when I look at both of your charts together, he's your little spitting image. He just adores you. He's your little spitting image. The difference is, Jay, you are more analytical. You have a more analytical mind. You're very much a perfectionistic. That's why you're such a good editor and writer. You're also very practical. You're a builder. You know how to build a company from the ground up. I mean, you've got strong earth planets that make you very stable. But you deal with a lot of this energy as well in Mercury, where it can create high anxiety. And you're a Leo, fire sign. You're the king. And your sun also is has a very strong Leo placement. And he's going to be a little cub coming up to be a king. So sometimes when you get two lions in the den, you've got to work that out. But he's just your little mini-me, really, in so many ways, as I've looked at both charts. Now, because he's so athletic and he has this powerful energy to be very, very competitive and athletic, it's difficult having these energies that slow him down because, he's got to find a way to use it. See, the problem is when you have a situation like this with your son, when I look at his chart, he's like, it's like taking electricity and water and putting it together. What happens? Yeah, he's got that going on, and that might be where the seizures are coming from. But if we can learn to individually manage these energies just a little bit, and I'm going to give you some really great ideas, we might be able to lower his vibration a little bit. I'm going to make some suggestions based on looking at his chart, and this is what I would do for my child, knowing what I know. First of all, he needs lots of opportunities to learn lots of different things, and that will keep his spirit up. Little tidbits, history lessons, all of those things, times reading, sharing things with him. Not necessarily deep subjects, but he also is capable of deep, more spiritual subjects. He's going to be very interested in things like the water. There's also a very strong placement in his chart that tells us that he is very receptive to music as a healing agent. He needs a lot of music around him, but specific music, low vibrational music with drums. And if you think back to our day, like Pink Floyd, they used low vibrational music. That's why so many people were absolutely obsessed with them and still obsessed today. They didn't even know what was happening to them. Native American drums, flutes. Well, you want to keep it low, though. Nothing too high, no rap music. That's going to send his energies out of control. He needs to have a lot of time near water. I mean, I could see him having a fish tank, a beautiful little fish tank in his bedroom with the light on. And that will help him calm himself down at night. Bring his vibration down. That's what we're working on. That's what we're doing to help manage these energies until he gets old enough to manage them himself. It's up to you as the parents to somewhat protect his environment. And you think, well, we can't watch him every minute because he's just a live wire. I mean, this kid is into everything. He's a leader. He's not afraid of anything. And he just jumps right in. Part of the reason he was climbing a tree is because he's got that Aries Mars energy. He could climb to the top of a mountain, and he will. So what could you do to use this powerful athletic energy in a safe way? Well, because he's got such a strong pull towards water, competitive swimming. Now, obviously, I know you're probably thinking, well, yeah, but if he has a seizure, you got to be there, but he's got to do something with this energy, or it's all going to be bottled up inside. And the pressure of it, I believe, is possibly what's creating these situations. So there's a couple other factors I'm going to talk quickly about because I know this video is going to get long. The night that your son had the seizure, or the day I saw it on the Facebook, you posted on September 15th. So I took a look to see where the moon was at that time because he's so connected to the moon changes that are happening every day. Every 2.5 days, the moon changes into a new energy. And then it goes around all 30 days and starts all over again. Well, the moon was in Aquarius on the 15th and 16th. And that's, I can't even sit still when the moon's in Aquarius. I'm like a high vibration. Now take your son, Nicholas, who has the sun in Aquarius. It's like 2 planets, almost 2 positives making a negative. Now, if my theory holds true and you guys wanted to really see if this worked, you could even give me dates of the most significant seizures he's had, as close to dates and times as you can get. Really, the dates is the main thing. I can look back and see where the moon was. Is there a thread? Is there a thread that triggers your sun's seizures? Now, you're thinking, oh my God, does that mean we're going to have to be afraid of the moon every day? Where the moon is, where the moon is? No. It's like knowing the astrological weather. If you were going to have a birthday party out in the park and you watched the weather and it said Sunday it was going to rain, you might change the party to indoors. If you knew that your sun is triggered by certain energies because he's just a walking vibration, if you knew that information, you could maybe monitor his activities for a couple days, or let's go do something calming like get near the water. Another really important idea, your son needs to have many times throughout the day where he gets to go be alone. I think I shared that with you. Also, we all have these handy videos, handy phones, right, that we can put on YouTube. If you feel your son's getting anxious or you feel that vibration, you guys know when he's building. See, I'm just having you tap into your intuitions that you already know about. You already know the scientific side of this. But now we're tapping into what you know. When does the energy start raising before the seizure? Okay? Now, you can take them aside. Hey, let's go sit under a tree a minute. Pop open one of those YouTubes and put some ocean of the beach and the waves. You could just hear them for a few minutes. Even if it's 10 minutes, it'll lower his vibration. Water, anything to do with water and low tones will help lower the vibration. Colors, needs to have blues, lavenders, soothing colors, because colors will over agitate him. If your house is a big, pumpkin colors, if your house has a lot of bright colors or real strong colors that are real high energy colors, that will raise that vibration. His room needs to be almost like a little ocean that he can go into. And if he goes and he hides out in there for a few hours every day, or maybe even a couple days, he's regenerating himself. As with this Pisces influence, because they take in so much from the outer world, they need quiet time. And he's the only one who can balance himself back out. And so he's trying to do that by getting away from all of the pressure. Because the reality is, if I walk up to somebody and I meet him and I take my hand and I shake it, I'm coming in with energy. If I come up and I say hi and I'm really shy in the background, then my energy is really reserved. Imagine somebody who is in tune to everything around him and all of the energies around him. Imagine that happening. Imagine that happening and him having no way to rebalance himself or get out of the situation and bring his energy levels back down. Bring this back down. That's what he's doing. So I'm going to put a couple links at the bottom of this video. This video is private. I'd love your thoughts, and I'd like to share some more details about the moon. If you'd like to do some further discussions with me, this is a theory. If my ideas work, and I can give you some times to be aware of, and you can start to follow what's going on. Everything I'm telling you about, you already know. It's just that so many times we want to take something like this and put it in a box. All of the great artists, Michelangelo, even many, many, many famous people, Joan of Arc, that were very intuitive, strong, power warriors with spiritual missions, creative missions. They shared the planets that your son has, that he works with. So we have the technology now, we have the science. Now we need to use some practical ideas. So, hopefully all of this helped. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys might have to say about it. And if you'd like to do some further research with me, again, all you have to do is see if what I'm saying does make a difference. And if it doesn't, no harm, no foul. All right, so good luck, you guys, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you.